So this is what we did last week, independence.html. So now I want to open another folder so that we can start again from that folder. So open folder. So I'm creating a new folder here. You may have your own folder, so it doesn't mean maybe you are going to create a new one. Sure you get. So just now you're gonna do it. So Independence Day. So in this folder we can just put it as form. We can name the folder, we can give it a name of form. So now select folder, just select folder. So this is it, we landed here. So the first thing I told you, you just create a new file, or you come here to create a new file, anyone you want to use between both of them. It's going to work. So we are creating form.html, form.html. So save, create file. So this form.html, and we are creating another file, form.css, form.css. So we have form.html, we have form.css. So docs, our normal docs. So now let me bring both of them. Let me bring the CSS beside the HTML. So that is it. So now this is what we have. So let's give it a title of form. So now let's look at the what we are doing again. So this is what we are trying to do. This is what we are trying to do right now. So the first thing we are going to do is create a div. I told you you can start with anything, but me, I prefer making my code to be, I prefer making my code to be reasonable, as in to be user, anybody that sees it will know, so that you can understand, so that you can just understand it well, better, so that you can understand it better. That's why I use div to start my code. So div, div, I can give it a class name, a class of main container. This is the container that will cover everything we are going to be doing. So now we give it, there will be a form here, form. So this is a form, you get it, is a form. So let me give it let us write an h2. We are starting with this login form on the top, h2 of login form, h2, h2 login form. So let's open our code and see what we're having. So let's continue before the stuff open. So this login form, so I want to give it another container of where our, okay, can you see this login form? This is what we have in our code, exactly what we're having. So now let's go to our div and give it a container. If you want to give your div a name instantly, if you want to give your name instantly, you can just put dot the name you want to give it and just press enter. So this is it. So this is it here. This is it here. So let's give it a, why is this stop? Okay. Let's give a label, a label, a label, a label of of username. Let's put B. Let's put B. I told you B will make something bold, to make it bold. You know. So let us give it username. Username. So let's give it an input. This input, look at what we have there now. So you see, login form, username, input, input. So this input, we have type of text here. So in the placeholder, we can just this is the input now we are getting. This is it. Can you see it? This is the input where you are going to type your information, where you are going to type your data. That's what they call the input. So now let's give it a input of, let's give it a placeholder. Placeholder is what will be in your input, what will be inside your input. Let's give it a placeholder of enter username. So enter username is the name of the folder. Enter username is the name is the name we give to the input. So that is the input is in enter username. So now let's continue. Let's continue. Let me just copy this label and I can just copy it and paste it. So I've pasted it. So this one will be password. The first one is username, the second one is password. PSSWRD. So that is the password. So we'll be giving it enter password. So that is enter password. You can see beside it. But you know, if you are entering the password, you know it should be as in it should hide what you are typing. You know what you are typing is supposed to add. Sure you get. So now that's what you are going to be doing here. You just need to change this step test password. So now can you see that what you are typing it can't show. It's because we have changed that test. We have changed that test to password. We changed the type to password. So now, so let's what we need next now is to create a button. Button. So button, you know, normal button. We can use inputs to create button, but the main stuff you need to use is button. You know, I just prefer using button. You can use inputs. You know, you can use anything, but button you understand that what we are trying to do here is like a button is a button that you need to click. Sure you get. So inside the button I wrote login. So this is the button, this is login in the button. So that is how it will be. So you can just put the type as submit, as your button type will be type your type will be submit, so that it will know that you are submitting what you input there. So that is why you are going to be using button type submit. So this is it, that is it, button type submit. Oh, I made a mistake here. Eh, I made a mistake. UTT. So that is it. Can you see? So login, username, password, login. So what inside? Let's go to our code. Yeah, we have done username, we have done password, we have done login. So there is something here. Remember me. So now let's go back to our code and give it a label, give it a label and input type. You know, do you know? Okay, let's continue first. Let's continue first. Give it a test and write remember me. So this is what we are getting here. Remember me. So you know there's a check box here. So if you want to make it, if you want to put a check box inside this type, you will make it. You will change that text to check box, and you put the status there. You make sure that you put the status. You see this checkbox now. See this checkbox. If you want to put status, you can just put status. You just have to put checked. Write checked is equal to checked. Okay, checked. So this is it. Can you see now? Immediately before anything, it's already checked for me. I can uncheck it, but it's going to bring out and it have checked it because I put checked here in my code. So we are done with this first one. So let us do some little CSS before we continue. Let's make some little CSS before we continue. So now Let's start with our main container. This is our main container. Dot main container. We are using dot because it's a class. But if it's an ID, we are going to use hash. So main container. We are giving it a background color. Background color is something very dark. Something very dark like this. We are giving it a background color of something very dark. Oh, do you know why it's not displaying? I've not linked my CSS. If you want to link your CSS, you just come here, link, and if it's not bringing it out for you, you have to write it everything. It's because of the extension. That's why it is bringing it out for me. So you have to write it link red style sheet href from CSS. So now you can see I'm having a background of that. So I'm already having a background color. So let me give it an height of 100 VH. 100 VH. That will make it fill up. It's fill up. I told you that I am that you can see there's a margin. There's a little margin. There's a white at the edge. So I don't want to make the white appear. So that will be using asterisk. As in my code, there should be a margin of 0, or else I put margin in each class and padding of 0. So now you can see there's no any white again at the edge. So that's the function of that. So now let's continue. Let's continue with our form. Let's continue with our form. Our form.